Hi, my name is Brian King. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to StampWithBrian.com. This is a card that I recently shared with you, and I want to share a couple of tips and tricks with you about creating a background with stamped images, and also with stamping off, which you've probably heard a lot about, and with stamping along the edge of a piece of paper. So come on in, let's talk. This card uses Petal Potpourri, an image from Petal Potpourri, to create this beautiful background. I'm going to use this image from Petal Potpourri to share with you a couple of tricks and tips and basics. I'm going to use Melon Mambo, and we're going to talk about stamping off. So, if I ink this up, and I stamp this image down, that is a full image of Melon Mambo. If I stamp it again, that is stamped off once. If I stamp it again, that is stamped off twice. It's the exact same shade of Melon Mambo, but it's darker, lighter, lighter. You'll often hear people say, I stamped it off once, I stamped it off twice. This is what they mean when they say that. So you can easily create a background on a card by simply mixing up where you stamp those images. Maybe that's not as beautiful as you want it to be, but you get the idea. What I want you to be careful of, though, is when you stamp along the outside of a piece of cardstock. So, if I stamp, for example, here, then when I stamp here, I want to show you what a difference that makes, because this is the edge where I stamped it. So you're going to want to be careful when you're creating a background on a piece of cardstock that if you hit the edge, that you are stamping off on your scrap paper versus stamping off on your card. So, here are a couple of tips and tricks for creating a background that you like. So, you can either start with the darkest shades or start with the lightest. In this case, I'm going to start with the darker. So, I'm going to just stamp on this corner up here, and I'm going to ink up every single time, and I'm going to just space these out in a way that gives me an even number of, or an even pattern of the dark. So the next one is going to be my stamp off once. I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp down. I'm going to ink back up, stamp off once, stamp back down. Ink up, once, down, stamp off once, and down. So, because every time I stamped off on the edge, I inked off here, I have images that aren't distorted. Now I'm going to stamp off twice and just fill in the gaps here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there we go. So, the key there is you want all of the patterns to be dispersed equally over the cardstock, but also you want to make sure that your stamping off is done here. If I were to stamp here and then here, I would be fine to continue without it, but for me, it's a lot easier just to stamp off every time here, so I don't have to stop and think about it. I hope that you found those very basic tips helpful, or a reminder of the processes that you already use. So, create beautiful backgrounds with your stamps. Don't forget to let them run off the edges, and stamp off on your scrap paper. That's going to make sure you get clear images every single time. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Please visit me at StampWithBrian.com to see all the fun we're having over there, or to purchase these products. Thanks for stopping by.